Hello. Are you Nutanix Cloud Clusters, or NC2 for short, on Azure customer, managing numerous databases in your environments? Well, we have some fantastic news. The Nutanix Database Service, or NDB for short, now supports NC2 on Azure, adding to the numerous ways Nutanix can help you accelerate your hybrid multi-cloud journey. I'm David Teague, a Technical Marketing Engineer, or TME for short, here to share the exciting news about NDB on NC2 Azure. With this new support, NDB on NC2 now has feature parity with NDB on NC2 AWS. First, we'll examine our Prism Central dashboard, which manages the NC2 Azure environment we're going to use. NDB requires Flow VPC overlay subnets to be set up. From Prism Central, click on Virtual Private Clouds. Here, you can see that the overlay network is established. Next, click on Subnets to view the subnets that are part of the VPC overlay. With the VPC overlay configured, you can now start using NDB in your NC2 Azure environment. We'll begin with an existing NDB environment deployed on premises. From this environment's dashboard, we're going to navigate to the Administration menu and select the NDB Services section. As you can see, the NC2 Azure environment has already been integrated into this NDB installation. By selecting Nutanix Clusters on the left, you can see that multi-cluster has been enabled and view the details of the NC2 Azure environment, including its IP address. And if we switch over to the Prism element of the NC2 Azure environment, you're going to see the same IP address. You will need the virtual IP address to add this cluster to your existing NDB environment. The NDB Administrator Guide provides further information on enabling multi-cluster functionality. Returning to NDB, take a look at the table in the lower part of the screen. You will notice that there are currently 0 software and network profiles available for NDB to use on that cluster. We can quickly resolve this by going to the Profile section in the drop-down menu. From there, we can select the software profiles we wish to make available in the NC2 Azure environment. Simply select the profile, click Update, and check the box next to the Nutanix cluster that you want the profile to be available on. We would then repeat this process for any additional software profiles we wish to make use of in that environment. Next, we'll click Network on the left, then Create. I will select PostgreSQL to create a network. We will need to choose our NC2 Azure cluster along with the VLAN that has been set up. This should be the VLAN that is using the Flow VPC overlay network. After that, we will click Create to save the configuration, and we would need to repeat this process for any other database engines that we intend to use. With these two tasks completed, we will now utilize NDB in our NC2 Azure environment. Let's provision a PostgreSQL database. We will begin by navigating to the Database section from the drop-down menu. After we click on Databases, we're going to choose PostgreSQL Instance to provision a single instance server. We will create a new server, filling out the database server VM name, selecting the NC2 cluster, then choosing our software, compute, and network profiles. Finally, we will upload our SSH public key and click Next. On the subsequent page, we will enter the instance name and the initial database name. We will then select the database parameter profile and enter the Postgres password and click Next. From here, we're going to select our time machines using the default options since they have not been customized, and then click Next. This environment has a patching window set up, so we will configure patching for the server and click Provision to start the process. If we hop over to the Operations page, we can see that this process has started. But with a little video magic, we can see that it has been provisioned successfully on NC2 in Azure. With that completed, we're going to move right along and hop over to our freshly deployed NDB environment in the same NC2 Azure cluster we showed at the beginning of this video. If we open up the Administration menu Nutanix Clusters section, we can see that our NC2 cluster is added, and the IP address is the same as before. If we look at the table in the lower part of the screen, you can see that we already have all of the profiles we need set up because this NDB installation was installed directly into this NC2 environment. If we click on Networks, we can see that we have 2 overlay networks set up. When you configure NDB for the first time, it allows you to select a default network for your network profiles, so there is no need to configure any of our network profiles. We are now poised to initiate an operation within NDB. If we navigate to the Database section, you will see that a database has already been deployed in this environment. Let's create a clone of this database. To create a clone, we're going to go to the Time Machine sections of NDB, select our database, and choose Create a Clone. Next, we will select a time of day or snapshot that we want to use for this clone and click Next. You can customize the server name, but we're going to leave it as is. Then we will set our NDB user password, select our compute and network profiles, And once we provide our SSH key, we can click Next. Like any clone operation, you can set automatic refresh schedules or select it for automatic removal as we are showing here. However, you are only required to set the PostgreSQL password and select a database parameter before clicking Clone to start the process. If we head over to the operations page, we can see that our job has started, along with another job that was already running. And with a little video magic, we can see that our clone job has finished successfully in our NC2 Azure environment. That was just a brief demo of how NDB works in NC2 on Azure. Whether you're adding NC2 Azure to your existing NDB environment or installing NDB fresh in NC2 Azure, this only scratches the surface of the various options available when combining NC2 with NDB. You can learn more about NDB by clicking on the NDB playlist link below. Be sure to check out my previous video on the NDB 2.6 release and click subscribe so you don't miss out on many of the incredible videos on Nutanix University.